This video is for you if you're struggling with getting high quality sleep and it's affecting how you live your life. And let's be honest, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. I know.
I already bought my alarm clock. It's weird using it and not using the phone. Like that's really weird. Um, but I still need to work on getting like I guess getting used to a bedtime because I it's still hard because I'm used to going to sleep really late. So working on that.
What time do you usually go to bed?
Oh gosh, it's late, like 12.
Like 12? Okay.
Yeah.
And how have you felt with the alarm clock? Has that kind of forced you to go to bed earlier, or is it the same?
It's kind of forced me, yeah, a little bit. I mean, I like it. I like that I don't have my cell phone in there, but it's just like it's a weird transition. Like it's different, you know. I mean, I don't think I've ever had an alarm clock.
But I mean, it's a good transition. I mean, no transition is gonna feel
Yeah.
comfortable to be
No.
Um, but I'm proud of you for buying the alarm
Yeah.
clock because that's gonna help you so much because
hmm
your phone, even if it's on airplane mode, it's
Yeah.
a device and it has EMF and
hmm
it's just better when it's not in your room.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Yeah. With the alarm clock, I'm like, okay, I have to wake up.
Yeah, like okay, let's actually wake
Yeah.
up now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Commitment is important.
It
Like
is.
you have to be committed to what you're doing. And so many women have the
hmm
desire, but they lack the commitment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know that, committing is scary, committing is hard
hmm
because we don't know what the outcome is, right? We don't know if it's actually
hmm
work, if you're putting all this stress, but in reality, what we're scared of,
hmm
the change.
The change. Exactly.
We're scared of actually being better. If you really
hmm
think about it, like we're kind of comfortable being
With
stuck.
how, yeah.
Is that how you felt?
Yes, like I feel like I always procrastinate or like I'm like, oh, I'll put like I put things like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow, I'll do that next week because like you said, I'm scared of change. Like that's really it.
Change that leads to improvement is always good. It's always better
Yeah,
than being stuck where you are. But
exactly. I don't know. I feel like even now, like that I'm kind of like journaling more because I have tried that too. I've been journaling more and I've done these past 3 days. I feel like a little more calmer than I have in the past. So I'm like, okay, so it is working. Something is working here. So,
I'm so proud of you
hmm
because you
hmm
actually decided to start doing the things that you said you were gonna do.
yeah, it's
Because
hard.
it's hard, right?
Yes, very hard, but I'm like, no, like you have to do this. You have a goal, and we're gonna reach it.
Exactly. That's the attitude. That's the attitude
Yeah.
to have. This is a study from Harvard that said
hmm
that it shed a little bit of light on the
hmm
connection of your circadian rhythm with obesity, for
Okay.
example. And so it showed that blood sugar levels increased and
hmm
levels of leptin, and it's a hormone that leaves people feeling full after a meal. It went down.
Wow.
So it was a study showing how a little bit of light um,
Okay.
at night can affect your circadian rhythm. So
That is crazy.
yeah, what's the circadian rhythm? We're going to talk about that after
Okay.
this, but it also showed that blue light suppressed melatonin for about as twice
Wow.
as green light.
Oh my goodness. And like
Yeah,
I'm on my like literally like we're on our phones all the time. Like that's insane.
and we can connect this to
hmm
the aspect of holistic health as usual, that
hmm
everything is connected. So if one
Yeah.
area of your body is struggling, everything else is going to struggle at some
Oh
point.
yeah.
So, controversial topic. I say controversial because some people think it's not necessary. Are night
It is.
routines necessary? What do you think?
I think yes. Back then, like maybe if you would ask Michelle, probably like a year and a half ago, if these are necessary, I'd be like, nah. But now I'm like, yes. And like I know I say I've like it's because like I can't stay consistent. Like I'll have a night routine and then I'll get tired of it and then like I'll quit. And then I'll be like, okay, I'm on it again. Like I'll be like consistent in like a month and then I'll stop again. But no, like I absolutely think that night routines are definitely necessary. But yes.
And how do you feel when you've had the night routine versus when you haven't?
Oh, I feel better when I have a night routine. Whenever I don't, I feel like I said, I feel stressed out. I feel like anxious. I feel like irritated. I just feel like out of control.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. No, I agree. I think both night routines and morning routines are necessary, but
Yes.
how we've talked about before,
Hmm.
night routines will basically set you up for the next day. If you
Yes. Yes.
so yeah. Um, okay, so just this is
Hmm.
some reflection. You don't have to like
Okay.
answer out loud, but
Hmm.
I'm gonna ask these questions and you just be honest with yourself internally and
Okay.
think about your answers. And then if you want to share them with me, share.
Okay.
I can know what we can work on specifically for you.
Got it.
But okay, so do you lack energy as soon as the day starts? Is poor sleep
Okay.
quality part of your life? And are
Okay.
you tired of being tired?
Okay.
This is kind of something that many women struggle with. I mean, you on your call, on your first call,
Hmm.
your discovery call, right? Telling me
Yes.
you're stressed, super anxious, like your period
Yes.
was super painful, and you really had no structure when it came to your sleep,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So
Terrible.
now, I mean, you've only been 3 days within alarm,
Yeah.
but let me just tell you, like, mark my words, if
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
commit to this for just 1 week and you
You'll
prove to yourself
notice a difference.
for
Yeah.
1 week, yep, you're gonna notice such a big difference because your body will actually sleep deeper because
Hmm.
you're not like this is such a
Yeah.
wonderful tool and I love it. Like I work from here.
Yeah,
Do
but
everything
it's
from here.
also harmful to your
Yeah.
health. Yes.
Yep. So we just have to know that balance.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm going to talk about blue light kind of more
Hmm.
specifically later on in the slide. So there's
Okay.
another basically another study because right, I like to talk science and I like to also,
Yeah.
practical things. Um,
Hmm.
but poor sleep and women's health are super related, obviously. And
Hmm.
this study, and here's the DOI, the number if you want to look it up later on. It said that sleep disturbance negatively impacts hormonal rhythms and
Whoa.
metabolism and is also associated with obesity, insulin insensitivity, diabetes, hormonal imbalance, and appetite dysregulation. Okay,
Wow.
Michelle, like when I first read this, I was making a post
Uh-huh.
like I think it was like a year ago of
Yeah.
sleep. And I saw because I know that poor sleep is bad, but when I was researching,
Yeah.
I was like, I was like,
Hmm.
what? All of that? And it makes sense. People just say like, oh, if you don't get sleep, like maybe you're gonna get bloated because your body's
Yeah.
detoxing. Like that's true, but your hormones will become more
Yeah.
imbalanced. You're gonna become basically insulin resistant,
Yeah.
which is a symptom that sometimes women with PCOS struggle with, which is basically
Oh.
your body cannot like break down sugar, like you're insensitive
Ah, yeah.
to
Yeah.
insulin, and you basically, there's no way that you can lose weight. It's very difficult. Um,
Hmm.
and obviously, appetite dysregulation, like you're hungry,
Yeah.
maybe you're hungry when you shouldn't be hungry, and then you're not hungry when you should. You
That's
know,
me. Yeah.
if you wake up and you're not
Yeah.
hungry, that's a sign that something's up. And then if
Hmm.
you are super hungry at night, obviously eat, like feed yourself because it's going to be
Yeah.
worse if you don't. But, your appetite shouldn't be so
Like dysregular, right? Like just
exactly like
yeah.
your appetite, you shouldn't be craving so much at night.
Yeah.
You should be feeding yourself in the morning, like
Hmm.
in the daytime when you're using
Hmm.
energy, and then at night your body kind of naturally prepares to sleep. But when you've had dysregulated sleep, your body's not really gonna remember those patterns
Yeah.
kind of all over the place.
Hmm.
And then obviously obesity, because when we are not losing weight, when we're insensitive
Yeah.
to a lot of things, when we're not sleeping right, your appetite is dysregulated, you're eating and you're
Yeah.
eating because you're very, 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 anxious,
Yeah.
there's control, and it just leads to a lot of things. So
Oh
sleep
yeah.
is important.
No, yeah, like that's interesting. Like I like learning stuff about this. Like you said, you do hear like, oh, you gotta sleep, you gotta get good sleep, but you don't really know like the effects of like how bad it can be when you don't get a good night's rest. Like, yeah.
Yep. And I think like one of the
Mhm.
biggest issues that I see among
Mhm.
women, like you
Mhm.
ladies, that I struggled with too, is sleep. Like we just cannot go
Yes.
to bed.
No, yes, like there's times where like I would go to bed and like for some reason my mind would just go like thinking and thinking mode and like I'm like, why can't I go to sleep? But then I'm like, Michelle, you've been on your phone for like 4 hours, like 3 hours straight, like, and you just want to put it down and go to sleep, like, no.
Like your body's not gonna know how to
Yeah,
react, right?
no.
Because
Mm-hmm.
blue light basically acts as kind of like it confuses the
Mm,
body into thinking that it's daytime almost. Like
got you. Yeah.
that's how, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not important, important's not the word, but that's how powerful, I guess you could say,
Mm-hmm.
and how disruptive blue light is, where it confuses your body into thinking, oh, like I don't have to go to bed because it's daytime.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So, this other study, right, it says that there's this
Mm-hmm.
circadian disruption can increase the risk for the expression and development of neurologic,
Whoa.
psychiatric, cardiometabolic, and immune disorders. So we're
Oh
talking
my
our
gosh.
nerves, we're talking our emotions, we're talking our heart, and we're talking our ability to resist sickness, right? Immunity, that's
Yeah.
immune system.
All
So
I think right now is just like where you're talking, like how bad, like I was like eating, not going to sleep, and like how I stay up almost to 3 a.m. like when I was in college, like that's doing homework or whatever. Like that is insane. Like no wonder I felt like crap for so long. I mean, like I'm struggling because I put my body through a lot.
yeah, no, and you're not the only one. Like, I mean, the fact that you can recognize this is amazing.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Yeah.
help you, you know. I say
Mm-hmm.
this a lot and I sound like a broken record, but every time that you
No.
have a realization, I'm gonna say
Mm-hmm.
that's great that you recognize it
Yeah.
because sometimes we don't, the first step
No.
actually changing is realizing that you have a problem. Like if
Like
you
a
don't
self-awareness. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, if you don't
Mm-hmm.
realize that you have a problem, then
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna think you need change.
Yeah.
So yeah, like when you're not going to bed, when you weren't going to bed, you were
Mm-hmm.
staying up late, you were eating like crap, like all these things
Yeah.
were affecting your body. And
Everything. I feel like every system, my nervous system, my everything. Like I feel like
yep.
I was getting sick a lot. Like I would get sick like at least once a month. Like it was bad. But anyways.
Yeah, so there you can see that,
Mm-hmm.
your your systems were weak,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your body
Yeah, very.
weren't giving it the proper rest.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's very common nowadays because we live in a very busy, busy
Yeah.
society. I mean, now you moved back home,
Back
so
home, yeah. It's more calm, way
yeah,
more calm.
it's more calm, but
Mm-hmm.
don't think that the busyness is
Yeah.
you still,
Oh
right?
no, yeah. Oh
Still
yeah,
part of
because teaching is also a very stressful job and it's very busy. So yeah, yeah, you're right.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm not talking about like work, because work is good.
Yeah,
We're made to work, and
yeah,
women were made, God made us to be the
yeah.
help of Adam, right, in the garden, like if you think about
Mm-hmm.
it that way. So we were made to work, but I mean, I know you know what I
Yeah,
mean, but kind of like to further expand, I mean more like the high-paced busyness of modern society where let's say maybe the 80s or the 90s, which is it's not even that long ago, but
yeah,
it's kind of when everything started kind of exploding into this modern
yeah,
era that we
yeah.
have
Okay,
now.
yeah.
So, like in the 80s and the 90s, I've heard that fast foods and things like that, like they would close
Oh gosh, yeah.
6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. Like they were closed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until these 24-hour shops started coming
Oh gosh, yeah.
like that people were like, oh, so now I can, eat at whatever day, like at whatever time of the day, or
That, yeah.
our grocery stores, like
Yeah, or like
obviously,
even working, like those people that work like third shift, like I'm like, oh my gosh, like that is how d that would be
yeah, no,
terrible.
I have high respect for, you know, um, all these professions that are first
Hmm.
line workers, like nurses, uh,
Yes, like
like I have respect because I can never, I
no,
can never sacrifice my sleep like that.
no, like my uncle, like he worked third shift for like 10 years, right? But he had to stop because it was messing up, like his health was deteriorating, like it was bad. And he had a wreck, like literally, because he fell asleep like coming back from work.
Oh
So
my
like
God.
it was messing up his health. Like he had a wreck, and he's like, no, like I can't do this anymore. Like I'm surprised he lasted 10 years working a third shift. Like that is insane. I could never do that. Like no.
I feel like because he's a man, he was able to resist
Yeah,
it a little bit more. I think
yeah.
had it been a woman,
Oh
she would have
yeah.
she probably would have stuck through those 10 years, but she probably would have looked wilted, right? She
Yes,
would have had
yes.
like
Mm-hmm.
super dark bags, all that stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So so yeah, I mean, here we can see that our
Mm-hmm.
circadian rhythm is closely linked to our sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the circadian rhythm? Because I've been talking about this a lot.
Yeah, I want to know.
Maybe it's a new word, right, for
Yeah, it
you.
is a little. I mean, I've heard it before, but like I really don't know like I guess like this. I don't really. Okay, I really don't know the meaning of it, to be honest.
Okay. So circadian rhythm, right? It's rhythms
Hmm.
in our bodies. They are 24-hour cycles in our bodies, and it's
Okay.
just the body's internal clock is how I like to say. I like to simplify.
Okay, internal clock. Okay.
So it's your body's internal clock. Now, you're gonna hear a lot when like people talk about your circadian rhythm, and they'll probably
Mm-hmm.
talk about your sleep a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
circadian rhythm is not sleep cycles. Your sleep
Okay.
cycle is one of your, like it's a type of your circadian rhythm. If
Oh.
explain
Okay.
it
Okay.
properly.
Okay.
Circadian rhythm is like the umbrella, right? It's like the big
Mm-hmm.
term. And inside that rhythm, we have the
Mm-hmm.
sleep wake cycle, which is what I was talking about. Your body naturally produces melatonin when the sun
Yeah.
starts going down, it starts getting
Mm-hmm.
dark, you start getting sleepy. And when your body sees that it's like sunny outside,
Mm-hmm.
produces like, oh, I have to wake up, or like maybe
Yeah.
in 8 hours of you sleeping, and your body
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, you start feeling the sleep literally like leave your body.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, no, I wanted to sleep in more, but your body's like waking up.
Wake up. It's time. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's a sleep wake cycle, and that is
Mm-hmm.
the circadian rhythm. You also have a temperature rhythm. So what does that mean? Basically, when you're in a cold place, your body will produce heat to keep you warm,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? Or if you
Mm-hmm.
are in a very hot place, maybe your body's gonna sweat to kind of detox.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna keep you like cool internally.
Oh,
Um, Digestion is also another one because once your body has like
yes.
once you've eaten at a certain amount of time, your body will begin digesting it. So we also have the hormonal rhythms, which,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna become an expert at the end of
Yay.
this program. Basically, right, at certain times of the cycle, our hormonal
Mm-hmm.
levels, they shift, um, and they
Mm-hmm.
drop and things like that. But for example, because it's different for us. So hormonal rhythm and then 24-hour cycle
Mm-hmm.
can it's better appreciated in a men's hormonal cycle because
Uh-huh.
man, he has a 24-hour hormonal cycle, and his
Yeah.
testosterone is at its peak in the morning, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of lowering and decreasing in the evening. So
Yeah.
he does have that daily hormonal, you know, uh
Mm-hmm.
fluctuation. For us, it's a
Yeah.
little different because we are monthly. So at
Yeah.
different times of the month, we have a different production of hormones.
Mm-hmm.
Cognitive function. So that has to do with the nervous system, with the brain, the way that you react to
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's a circadian rhythm. Um, Cardiovascular rhythm. So how your heart beats at certain moments
Yeah.
of the day or at certain times you see someone that you think is cute and your heart starts
You're like, ah.
yeah. Or you get really angry and your heart kind of starts beating,
Yeah.
really fast. Like those kinds of, it's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful how God made us, right? Like those
It
different
is.
kind of cycles in your body
Mm-hmm.
all work in harmony and you don't even notice, right?
Yeah. No,
Um,
you don't.
Metabolic processes, so how you naturally can gain or lose weight,
Mm-hmm.
and then gene expression. So these are different
Gotcha.
cycles, and that this is what a circadian rhythm is. But mostly I will be talking about the sleep wake cycle and digestion. Those are the ones that I typically focus on. And obviously, hormonal um
Yeah.
situation in women, but
Mm-hmm.
those are the ones. So, what harms our circadian rhythm? There are many things that harm our circadian rhythm, but here I'm talking specifically about the sleep wake cycle. So, too much caffeine, right? Well, in the holistic health space, caffeine is very good for longevity, and it's
Mm-hmm.
true. Like everyone here in Puerto Rico, like my family members from the country, as we call it, like
Yeah.
well, they all lasted a long time and they were drinking black coffee since they were little. And so
Same with my mom. Yeah.
I know caffeine is good, but girl, I can't get myself to drink it. Like I don't like
No.
the taste. But if
Oh,
you
oh, really?
I don't like the taste. I
Got
don't
it.
know.
I feel my roommate, when I used to live with her, she would drink like 2 cups of coffee before bed, and I'm like, how do you do that? Like, how are you not like up all night? And I drink 1 cup of coffee, like you said, like at 2 p.m., and I'm feel like I can't go to sleep at night. But like you said, everybody's different, so.
Yeah, no, everyone's different, but if you
Hmm.
already know that you can't go to sleep at night,
Yeah,
stick to what
yeah,
works, right?
exactly.
Also, in the hormonal aspect of it, right here, we're talking about sleep, but in
Hmm.
the hormonal aspect of it, if you want to have coffee, it's always
Hmm.
have it after breakfast
Yeah, I have
because
heard of that. Yeah.
just because caffeine and coffee in general is kind of like a stressor on your body. Like
Hmm.
if you have like in my case, sorry, caffeine would act as a laxative sometimes. Like
Oh my
I
gosh, yes,
coffee
that
on an
happens to
empty
me
stomach.
sometimes.
Yeah, and so since that is already, additional stress to your body,
Hmm.
it's recommended that you have a very, protein-rich breakfast,
Yeah.
balance, carbs, fats, protein, and then after that, drink your coffee and you'll be good to go.
Hmm.
Another thing that obviously harms the circadian rhythm of sleep is blue light, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Studying, studying, working late at night, not
That
necessarily.
was I feel like that's one of the biggest factors that I did to mess up my hormones. I definitely think it was that.
Yeah, no, girl, same
Hmm.
here. But not necessarily like studying or doing
Hmm.
things at night. It's if you're doing them with fake and artificial lights. Because I've noticed
Yeah.
people when I read the Bible at
Hmm.
night, before when I wasn't in
Uh-huh.
holistic health or anything, I would read it with like my room light on, and I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't really be tired. Like I would fall asleep
Yeah.
times, but I wouldn't like I would read the Bible to try and kind of like wind down, but it was not
Yeah.
working. And then when I started using candles in my room and
Oh.
reading the Bible,
Uh-huh.
I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I have to have my Bible time in the morning because I'm not like I'm
Yeah, because you're
falling.
like falling asleep. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but obviously, studying and working, it depends what you're studying, depends what you're working. If you're doing like math problems and things that, or things that are logical that force you to think, it doesn't matter if you have a candle. I think you're still gonna,
Yeah.
because your
No,
brain is very active.
unfortunately, mine was staring at the screen. It was like essays, it was like presentation. So it was a lot of blue light for me, unfortunately. But yes.
Yeah. And sometimes
Hmm.
it's gonna happen, like if you have to stay up doing something,
Yeah.
but I've learned, and I'm gonna share this later on in the
Hmm.
presentation, we can use different tools that can actually help us to,
Hmm.
keep our body feeling rested and,
Hmm.
prepared to sleep.
Yes.
Another thing is obviously not having a set sleep time in the sense that
Hmm.
if your body's not used to going to bed at a certain
Hmm.
time,
Yeah.
it's gonna get kind of used to that, um, I guess that disorganization. And
Yeah.
so you're gonna kind of be looking for things to do, and then next thing you know, it's 1 in the morning. You're like, oh, oh.
Me?
And another one, right, is going out late and waking up early.
Who? I did that a lot.
You got all the
Hmm.
info, right? You kind of learned about the circadian
Hmm.
rhythm, things like that. But what are practical ways to actually develop a night routine? So
Hmm.
I'd say only use your room for sleeping if you're able to.
Yeah.
Right? Try to work, try to study, try to exercise somewhere else.
Or
If you're able to, I like to do this. But
mm-hmm.
sometimes if it's very cloudy, the sunset light won't
Yeah.
show much. But if you're able to, even if the sun is kind of, blocked by the clouds,
Mm-hmm.
just look at that because that red light
Oh yeah.
the sun produces at sunset time is going to help you just
Right.
naturally wind down. The mistake though, and I've been there a lot and I still sometimes struggle with that is like looking at the sun and then having 20 million things to do.
Oh my goodness, I know.
I'm so busy and it's like, wait, I kind of feel kind of tired, but then my mind's like, no, stay up.
Yeah.
We got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, obviously, avoid
Yeah.
blue light, limit it to 1 to 2 hours before bed,
Don't
and
use him when you're in
try
bed.
to not use the phone in bed. Um,
Yeah.
like if you want to go on your phone at night, like just try to not do it in your bed.
Yeah, yeah.
And then this is another big one. This has been such a game changer for me. We've been doing this for years, and let me tell you that the quality of my sleep when I forget to turn
Mhm.
it off is so bad, and I can
Yeah.
actually realize, like, I can actually see it. So obviously, since you don't live alone, talk to your parents
Yeah.
about it, but it shouldn't affect anyone. Um,
No.
and so basically, like, we turn it off. We turn it off at night. We turn it off 1 to 2 hours before bed. It kind of forces us to have to use our cell phone data, which is fine. Like,
Yeah. No, no,
really
I don't mind that either. Yeah.
doesn't really matter, but kind of like it forces me to basically like, oh, I can't really use my laptop. Ugh, because the Wi-Fi is
Yeah, because of the Wi-Fi's out. Yeah. Yeah.
back. Some of my favorite things to do are to log off social media by 8 p.m. But you're gonna notice that slowing down is uncomfortable, especially someone like you, someone like me that, we're very
Yes.
like goal-minded and goal-oriented, which is a great thing because we
No,
get
yeah.
it done. But it's gonna be very uncomfortable to say, wait a minute, I can do this tomorrow. I can do this
No,
tomorrow. I can do this
y
tomorrow.
you said it best. Like slowing down, like I'm telling you, this whole month that I have not, had a job. Oh my gosh, like you're right. It feels so uncomfortable. It feels weird. Like you're so right about that. That was so spot on. Like slowing down feels uncomfortable. Like that's one of the most accurate things I've ever heard in my whole life.
Yeah, slowing down will feel uncomfortable, but it's part of it, like it's
Yeah.
part of understanding and realizing that, like the Bible says, there is a
Hmm.
time
For
for every
everything. So
and
like when you
after.
when you say you use them at night, like do you just put them like in your room whenever you're about to go to bed or
So yeah, I turn off the lights in my room.
uh-huh.
I take a shower with the candle. Like I don't use the artificial light in my bath.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more extreme. Most people will think you're extreme, but I care about my
I want to try that. Yeah.
yeah. And my sister does it now, my mom does it, it's just leading by example. At the
Hmm.
beginning, though, it was like kind of weird, but your body really loves it. Like your body really gets used to it. And girl,
I'm gonna
especially
start doing
waking
that.
up with the candles, like I wake up and I will light the candle and I'll kind of read my Bible or do something. And
Yeah.
like I have a slower morning. So
Really? Okay.
definitely recommend it. Okay,
Okay.
so here's another thing. Turning your phone's screen red after sunset.
Oh, yeah, I've done that. Yeah, you go to I've actually do that sometimes, so I do know how to do that.
Awesome. Yeah, so there's actually a setting
Mm,
with your
yeah.
accessibility where if you like triple click,
Hmm.
it'll leave it regular, and then if you triple
And
click,
then, oh, okay. Yeah.
um, then oh,
I
another
remember
thing,
why I'm doing this.
remember
Yeah.
why I'm doing this, like
Yeah.
why am I doing this? And you said it a couple of minutes ago
Hmm.
at the beginning of the call. You have a goal. You
Yeah.
you heal. Like you have a goal, you want to heal, and that's why you're doing what you're doing. Um,
Yes.
Another thing that helps me tons is elevating my legs.
I
Uh,
do that too
yeah,
sometimes.
that's amazing, and it just helps
Yeah.
relax. It helps my
Hmm.
circulation. And then obviously reading a book, which you're doing, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Hmm.
Also like journaling sometimes in bed helps me a lot.
Yeah.
Here are the two things, right? You've seen my glasses before. Actually. The way that I use them is I use them when the sun goes down and then before the sun is out. And like if I have to be awake before the sun is out, which I do, um,
Yeah. Probably gonna be me too, because I'm gonna wake up like early, early. Yeah.
and girl, like that, I would say that's one of the best investments. Because think
You've
about it,
made.
$100 compared to
for
the
all
rest
of
of
that.
my life. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Do
and
you
for
have
those,
the link for it? Like, what's it called again? Do you have the
yeah, no,
link? Or do you think you could? Okay, if you
I'll
don't
send
mind,
it to
please.
you. I wish I
Hmm.
had like a referral link or something, but I'll just send you like the website,
That's fine.
and the one that you, and maybe you could just look into it on your own. But I think it's amazing. Viva Rays is another option, but I never tried it. I've heard about it.
You've
There's
heard of
another
it.
one called like Flex Ion, I think. There's a couple, but Bond Charge I
Yeah.
think, is one of the most prestigious and one of the most trusted. Just some extra tips, and with this, we're done. Getting sunlight first 30 minutes
Yeah.
after waking up. That's really going to help you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Exercising, it helps your body. Obviously,
Want to
there's discipline, there's commitment, but it
Yeah.
helps your body kind of feel a little bit more tired because you've put all that energy. Using a sleeping mask to avoid unnecessary light. And if you have an alarm clock, you're gonna be fine because the alarm is gonna sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one's really weird for a lot of people.
How's good? Yeah.
I tried it for a long time and it works, but I've kind of forgotten to do it. And now my body's trained to breathe with my nose.
Oh
So
wow. I need to start doing that.
yeah, essentially a lot of us we breathe with our mouths, right? Even when we talk, we're like
I yes, like
kind of things like it can help balance out the pH levels in your mouth, so it can prevent different conditions like gingivitis, dry mouth. It can increase your
wow.
intake of nitric oxide, which is crucial for brain function. So that's what I was talking about when you
Wow.
nose, you basically breathe in more oxygen and more of the
Mm-hmm.
good air.
Yeah.
And obviously decreases the chance of snoring because when you're sleeping, you're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. All right, ladies, so I hope that was of so much value to you. If it was, please respond back to my DMs and let me know what you thought of this video and what things you actually need help implementing. Which ones are you doing right now and which ones are you lacking, okay? If you do like this video, make sure to subscribe. Bye!